here to help you meditate. And there's a few tips and tricks that I'd love to share with you today to help you meditate. So if you're a new meditator, the first thing that's very important to do is to, number one, commit. Commit to meditating every single day, because when you practice every single day, that's when you're really going to notice the progress and you're going to get better with practice. Once you've decided that meditation is something that you want to do with your life, what I advise you to do is to schedule your meditation. So you want to make it part of your daily routine so that you don't skip it. If you don't schedule it, you're going to skip it and you're going to be finding all kinds of excuses not to do it, right? This is just our human nature. So what I like to do is schedule my meditation in the mornings. After I wake up, make it part of your morning routine. You can get up 15, 20 minutes or 30 minutes earlier just to include your meditation. Because when you meditate in the morning, it helps to set up your day. It helps to break out of that sleepy state of consciousness that we can wake up with and get you into clarity. So once you've committed, once you've scheduled the meditation, what do you do then? Well, what I recommend is finding a place in your home, in your apartment, in your room, whatever it might be, where you meditate on a regular basis. Whether it's the corner, you've set up your cushion, your table. I like to meditate in a chair. So once you've got your meditation area that you've set up, and you've got your incense, you've got your table, you've got your decorations, your flowers, whatever you like to do to decorate that area to make it special for you. Whether you're sitting in a chair, whether you're sitting on the floor, it's important to have a good posture. You want to make sure your back is straight. Now this is for energetic flow, to make sure that your energy is flowing in a proper manner. Beyond the physical body, we have an energy body. It's known as the subtle physical body. In the subtle physical body, this is where all the channels of energy exist. This is where the chakras exist. It's very important for this main central channel that runs from the base of the spine all the way up to the top of the head, called the Sushumna. It's very important for that to be in a vertical axis. So I recommend having a good posture. Even if you're sitting in a chair, you can kind of sit on the edge of the chair and very alert. One of the goals of meditation is to awaken, to become awake. So in order to become awake, we want to be very alert and ready. The next part is the breath. You can start off your meditation with a few deep breaths and then transition into a more subtle meditative breath. Before I meditate, I like to take a couple deep breaths. So I'm sitting in my chair or on my cushion. I will take a big deep breath, breathing in the nose and out the mouth, filling up my belly, lungs, and head in that order. I call this the wave breath, and it looks like this. Now you don't have to use your hands if you don't want to. Remember, breath is life. Breath is energy. The intake of energy, prana, oxygen into the body will help to kickstart the energetic flow, which is very important for meditation. It's also important to make sure that your nostrils are clear, because as we transition into the breath while we meditate, it's going to be just a nostril breathing. And the meditative breath is something like this. You're going to breathe just into your diaphragm, into your belly. You can even put your hand there to try, in the nose and out the nose. Very subtle. One more. And it becomes more gradual, more gentle, more subtle as you progress into your meditation. Now when you're focusing on your breath, you want to forget about everything else and just bring your awareness, bring your attention to the breath, to the breathing process. When your mind wanders, just bring it right back to the breathing process. It's really as simple as that. This is an effort in order to take our minds and bring it into a initial focus, to take it away from its wandering, meandering, and bring it into the process of your breath, which is happening right now in the moment. as you continue to breathe, as you continue to settle down, your body will settle down, which in turn settles down your mind and settles down your energies and prepares you for meditation. So we have our posture, which as you're breathing, you'll settle into your posture. And if you need to make some small adjustments to your posture as you breathe, that's totally fine. And it's actually recommended to ensure that you're not slouching, to ensure that you're not, rocking. You want to make sure your body is very still. And in order to do that, you want to kind of settle down. Imagine as if your body is a stable structure, a building. You can put your hands with the palms down on your knees. You can put your hands with the forefinger touching the thumb, the pointer finger. You can have palms up, palms down, on your knees, whatever you prefer. Or you can put your hands like this, which is right hand on top of the left, fingers touching in sort of a cupping position. Or sometimes I like to cross my fingers and just put it in the center of my body. Whatever works for you. Experiment with different hand positions. Once we've calmed down and we've gotten into our breath, we can then choose an object of concentration. So I'm a firm believer that concentration is very important. And there's many different objects that you can concentrate on. You can concentrate on a number of things using any particular sense organ that you prefer. So you can look at something, you can listen to something. The main two senses that most people use are their eyes and their ears on a day-to-day basis. So in order to kind of kickstart the meditation and use something to focus on in the beginning, I like to use a visual concentration exercise called gazing. Now, gazing is something where you simply look at an object with a soft focus, and because we're very good at looking at things, we use our eyes all the time. This is very easy for us to do. So when we look at something, our gaze is set on that object. It could be, heck, any number of things. I've got this little pyramid here, and I could set it right in front of me like this, and I could use it just to show you. I could set it right here, and I could just look at the object. Now, because we're very good at using our eyes, it's very easy to do. What this does is it takes our dominant sense, focuses it on one thing. And what this does is it brings our attention and our focus onto one object, which will get it out of its habitual routine of being scattered. Normally, the mind left up to its own doings will meander from thoughts, visualizations, memories, projections, songs that get stuck in our head, all sorts of things. The mind just becomes attached to this quagmire of activity. So by using something visual, you could even use your hands right in front of you and just focus on it. It brings your attention to a single point. And this is called single-pointed mind. Single-pointed mind is a very effective concentration exercise in order to get your mind out of the meandering that it's constantly doing, the overthinking, the mental chatter, blah, 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 blah. I have a particular meditation device that I love to use when I start meditating. It's called the Shri Yantra, and you can message me for a free download of this if you want. And I simply focus on the dot in the center here with my eyes in some sort of a laser-like focus. Imagine that you're drawing an arrow and you're focusing on the target, and you have to release the arrow, and it has to hit the center of the target. So in the very same way, you want to use your gaze, use your eyes, and just focus on that dot. I have my yantra taped to the wall right in front of me here, about 3 feet away. And I'll sit up straight, and I'll focus on that dot. And while I'm focusing on that dot, if my mind wanders, which your mind is really your attention, where is your attention at any particular moment? Is it in the moment? Is your attention wandering? Is it wandering off into thought? Is it wandering off into the past? Is it thinking about the future? Is it visualizing something? The mind loves to do what the mind loves to do. So by focusing on that central dot with our eyes, or focusing on an object with our eyes, we're bringing our attention through the senses of our eyes and focusing it on a single object. Now you can do this with music. If you want to play some music that inspires you, whatever works for you. And you can just close your eyes and listen very intently to the music, to the point where nothing else exists. Everything else goes away and only the music exists. You absorb your hearing, what would be the second dominant sense for most people, and just listen deeply to the music. And when you listen to the music, you'll become absorbed in the music. I did a meditation challenge on just listening to music, on what I call the 30-day journey into sound. And it's a very effective way to meditate, because music not only is something you could focus your attention on through listening, but it's a continuous stream of sound. So it's very similar to, say, repeating a mantra. If I sat here and repeated a mantra, etc., etc. What I'm doing is I'm focusing my awareness on the sound. Not only am I listening to the sound of the mantra that I'm producing, but I'm also feeling the effects of the sound, of the vibration that the mantra is creating. So you can do this with a mantra, you can do this with music, but the whole point of it in the beginning here is to focus your attention. And this is the concentration period. Beyond the five senses, there's a sixth sense, feeling energy, the ability to sense energy. So let's say, if you're familiar with your chakras, you got your third eye, you got your heart chakra, throat chakra, navel chakra, etc. Now these chakras are in your energy body, and in order to become aware of them, we have to feel them. We have to feel them because they're there, but our awareness is simply used to being somewhere else. So when we tune into our chakras, let's say we're focusing on our heart chakra, you can place your finger there, and initially you're using the sense of touch, one of your five senses. You use your sense of touch to initially bring your attention to that area, which is very easy to do because I'm touching it, we're used to touching things, we know how to feel things with our touch sense. But when it becomes a little more challenging is when we take the finger away, doesn't it? And we still have to hold our attention there, feeling that spot. Now that takes practice, because for a lot of people, this energy body, where the chakras are, can be somewhat numb. Our ability to feel energy can be somewhat dormant for most people because this is simply a faculty that we haven't exercised in a long time. And if you don't use it, you lose it. After the concentration period, you want to have a period in your meditation of simply letting go, of no focus, of no concentration, of sometimes what's called surrender, complete surrender. So after you've focused and you're in the last period of the meditation, you want to let go of your focus. And this is really where the meditation spontaneously can take place. And what is meditation? Meditation is a state of being beyond mind, beyond concentration. It's stillness. But in order to get to that place, we need to prepare ourselves. We can only really prepare to allow meditative states to unfold, to allow meditation to take place. And meditation is what I call effortless awareness. See, within us is consciousness. It's awareness. It's always aware. It's always conscious. There's, at the core of our being is consciousness. But in order to have that become a reality, to manifest it, to have it become who we are, we need to get through the layers of that active mind, of the conditioned mind. The mind is just doing what it's been doing, man. You know, we can't really fault the mind because it's only going to do what we've been doing. So that's why we need to do something else. And in the beginning, the concentration is the something else that we need to do in order to break out of that old pattern and manifest the new self. And the new self is the still self, the quiet self, the beautiful, silent essence. And when we can become still through concentration, and then when we let that go, if we've done a good job, what will happen is, this may not happen the first time, but over time, with patience and practice and faith, all of a sudden one day you'll just become effortless awareness. You'll just realize this is what realization means. It's a dawning of an understanding, of a realization, a discovery. When you uncover the layers of who you thought you were, you discover what you really are. This effortless awareness is constantly unfolding like nature. It's just there. It's just infinite, boundless, limitless awareness. And it's always there. It's just been covered up by the mental chatter and the conditioning of our lives.